Welcome to the Drunken Guardian podcast. Our show focuses on gaming while we drink. Every episode, we have a featured cocktail on our show description so everyone can try something new every week. Now, this show is more for adults. We do share our thoughts with no filters or censors. We also post videos on gaming news, cocktail recipes, game reviews, and more. We also stream on both YouTube and Twitch. For any questions or thoughts on a topic we touched on, send an email and we may even feature it on the show. All info is in our show description. Remember to drink responsibly and enjoy the show. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the confusion that's going on with the PS5 and backwards compatibility, as well as our thoughts on the new Avengers game. Don't forget to check the show description so you can enjoy today's featured cocktail, the Lemon Drop. Enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we have Jay Biggs in the house. Unfortunately, Randy is predisposed. Is that the right word? Yeah, he's busy today. So today we got Jay Biggs. What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Today's topics, we got two of them for you. One of them, Ubisoft, apparently they posted up something on their website that stated that the PS5 was not going to be backwards compatible with the 3, 2, or 1. Of course, everybody's catching a fit now because they could have sworn that Sony said something about having backwards compatibility with all their PlayStation systems, and Ubisoft is saying something different. Of course, the paid now is taken down, so we don't know if any of it is actually verified or not. Jay, this brings a question that a lot of people talk about is, do we need backwards compatibility?
Ooh, start with the hard-hitting questions first.
Yeah.
I actually did see that question the other day pop up, and I was like, oh, I can't even answer that properly. I mean, yes and no. I
probably would have said the same thing.
Yeah, like I still own my PS3, so I still have access to a lot of the PS2 games that I do like to play, like the Shin Megami Tensei games. I still have access to all those. But for people who don't own the consoles anymore, it would kind of suck. Well, it would really suck because it's like you had this whole notion that you were going on, like, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to play my old school games again, like all the way back to PS1. But my thing is, we don't know if all the titles were going to be backwards compatible from the jump. Everyone, like, that was just another rumor as well. Sony did say it too. Sony did say backwards compatible. They also did, like, I don't know if they clarified themselves that it was from 1 all the way to 4, but definitely I know 4 is going to be a part of it.
Yeah, they did mention PS4 was, this is where the corporate talk starts, because they said supported PS4 games, so that means developers have to basically allow the backwards compatibility and of course play with the code a little bit in order for it to work with the PlayStation 5 in the future. Yep. So that's a little bit tricky, but of course I would think, and I think Sony had even said that the majority of their library was going to work. Maybe you'll get unlucky and won't get some. It's just like the Xbox 360, when they said they were compatible with the original Xbox, it was very select stuff, and then maybe throughout the couple of years, more and more things became backwards compatible.
All right.
But so now we're hearing, though, that like none of it might be compatible at all. I'm kind of with you in the same thing. Like it's a really hard thing, because I'm all for game preservation, like historical game preservation. I don't want to lose, all the good games back then and just have them forgotten forever and just lost in time. At the same time, backwards compatibility can be a lot of a hassle when it comes to like systems. Like if you're incorporating it into the hardware, it can jack up the price of the system itself. That's why actually the PS3 was so expensive when it originally came out.
Yeah, that you can play everything on it.
Yeah, you can play everything because it had an emulator chip on there. It had actual hardware installed, and I had one of those as well. So I used to play the old games too when I had my PS3.
Same.
And then eventually the PS3 got cheaper because they changed, I think it was the power outlets, and then of course they also removed the chip, which made it cheaper, and of course it wasn't backwards compatible anymore. So there's that. But then there's also the argument that they could always use software instead. Just like I would assume, at least I don't know the insides of the hardware on the Switch, but Nintendo, I get to play NES and Super NES games using their software. So like they have software emulators that they can install on there and play, which might be able to help things out a bit. Do you think that's something that might work?
For the emulators, yeah. Honestly, for like if it's done right, yes. Because with PlayStation Now, PlayStation Now and some of the PS2 games that they re-released onto the PS4, those games run fine. Yes, sometimes they do have their hiccups where it lags, and that's also because like of one's internet. Yeah. Sometimes it may not always work properly, but for the most part, when I do play a lot of my games from like the PS3 era or whatever, or the PS2 games, they run smooth. So I see that they can do it, but it's just if they would they actually want to do that?
They would probably charge. I mean, they'll probably pull that thing. Remember with the Wii and the Wii U, like we could still play retro games then also, but you'd have to pay. Like I probably bought Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past 3 times. Because I bought it for the Wii, I bought it for the Wii U, and then I bought it again for the, now that I pay for the online service, I play it on the Switch.
Yeah.
So like I can see them, like if we did software emulation and we played off their servers or they streamed it or downloaded it or however they want to do it for the PS5, they would probably charge us per game, which would piss off a lot of consumers that actually have the physical copy of the game.
True. Either they do charge us per game, which would kind of be like the plan Z, or
I'm sure it's their plan A, but we probably wouldn't go for that as consumers.
Yeah, it would be my plan Z.
Yeah,
like as a plan A, what I would hope for is like they do with like how the Switch is doing it. It's a part of the like your online service, and if you're not paying for the PlayStation Plus or anything, then it probably won't work, which also sucks too. But that's to me, that's better than paying again for a PS1 or PS2 game that I already own.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Just do a subscription thing and you can play any one of them. Just, I guess like the Switch is doing right now. You pay for $20 a year for Nintendo, and then you can play all the NES and Super NES games. And I'm sure they'll work on other stuff in the future, like, 64 or anything else, maybe like Game Boy or some crazy shit.
Yeah, just work their way up the line.
Yeah. But so the other question and the other side of things is, what about those that actually collect the games, who have actual physical copies? So with the physical copies, my opinion is if you're investing your time and money saving and buying these old games, you should also be buying the systems. That's just my view. Like, I kind of see it as if you're going to buy a new system, a new generation system, its main focus should be the future.
True.
The future games, the future technology, taking advantage of all that stuff. If you want to go backwards, then you have plenty of resources and outlets and places to buy these old systems and games in order for you to do that, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people will probably be angry for me saying something like that, but I mean, that's just my opinion.
I stand by it as well, because I bought myself a PS3 to play some of my old games that I have because my previous PS3 stopped working. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to play my stuff. Like, I have it hooked up to my capture card so I can stream from my PS3 as well. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the PS2. Like, there's a handful of games that I wanted to go back and play or I owned before. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out and buy another PS2 and play that. Like, I'm not just gonna like own the games and let them sit there and collect dust without the console.
Yeah. If you do want to play them, I understand there's some people that they buy them and they just collect them and let them sit there on purpose because some of them will cost money. I'm actually mad at myself because I had owned the original copy of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh.
And then I had traded it in after maybe a year or two of having it when I had beat the game. And then I had missed the game, and then I eventually bought it again, but I bought the greatest hits version with the little green stripe on there. So I still have that one to this day. but the original copy actually, like if you were to sell it online, it'd actually go for a lot more than what it was actually worth. So I kicked myself in the ass for that. And I mean, I trade mostly everything, so I guess I'm the wrong person to ask about, buying retro games and such. But I don't know. That's just my view about the hardware. Like, look to the future. If you want to look to the past and play your old stuff, there are plenty of resources out there for you to do that.
Yeah. I mean, their main focus should be on looking towards the future, and their second thought would be the backwards compatible.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
Everyone has that mixed around. They're like, all right, it's backwards compatible. It's a win for me. I'm like, yes, that can be a selling point for most people, but I also do want to see what new shit they have to offer.
Yeah, I think if backwards compatibility was a huge issue, I think the most important priority would just have it be backwards compatible with PS4, because you have a lot of consumers you want to still keep. Mm-hmm. You want to keep the PlayStation fanboys. So for those who have a shit ton of in the PSN library, people they order their stuff digitally or physically, you want them to still be able to play those games on the PS5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I get my PS5, I'm putting my PS4 back in its box and just letting it chill there until I have space to have them all out on display. And I'll just play my PS4 games on the PS5 if I want. Like if I feel like going back to play Disgaea 5 or something else that I have on my PS4, I'm like, fuck it, I'll just hop on my PS5 and do it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. All right, so we're moving on to the next topic. Nice and simple. Avengers game is out now, and me and Jay are both playing it on the PS4. Jay, how are you liking it so far?
I'm digging it. I'm definitely here for it because it's really fun. I'll get to the cons for it, but my pros is just the combat is very fluid. I do like that, and the gear system is cool. Like the gear systems are cool. The story, I like the story. I like that they didn't go with the cliche, the Infinity Stones just right off the bat.
Just like the same stories that everybody knows.
Exactly. I'm looking at you, Ultimate Alliance 3. Didn't have to do that. But I do like that they took the story in this direction instead of just going and following the movies. Like,
no spoilers. I haven't finished the campaign yet.
Exactly.
Sadly.
Oh yeah, no, I was. I learned from my Ghost of Tsushima horse story. But yeah, it's really good. I like it. The character development is great. Like even from what I played in the beta and what they show, a lot of these companies are starting to get better with hiding the main focal point when they make these trailers or when they put out betas. Because I played plenty of betas where the story is just thrown right at you, and it's like, yeah, I thought you just wanted me to test your network. Like, you just told me who died, like right off the bat. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, they even before the beta, they had already announced that Captain America was, he was gone.
Yeah, that I know.
Yeah, well, I would assume, anyways. Don't tell me anything, but I would assume he's going to come back in some way, just in pure comic book fashion. I think Captain America died maybe 2 or 3 times in the comics.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll be back. So I'm not too worried. I would love to play as him, but this game has got me incredibly conflicted with how I feel, and it's like it's so cool to play as these characters, but at the same time it feels generic to me, and not in a bad way, because generic doesn't necessarily mean bad, because Ghost of Tsushima was very generic to me, and that game was amazing. The fighting was still really good, the art style was really good, the graphics and all that stuff, the story was really good. It was just a typical open world game, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with this one, it almost feels the same way. It feels like an action MMO, similar to Destiny, where you're playing as a character. Mind you, I know Avengers, what's awesome about it is you have all these different classes, / characters.
Yeah.
With Destiny, you're going from mission to mission, you're looting things, and you're raising up your power level. So it's just like, okay, this is a lot like one of those action MMOs, or even like, if you want to say like Division 2, or even like maybe like Anthem, if you really want to go there. But that's the feeling that I got, that it was generic in a way. So it wasn't anything too special, but the coolness factor was definitely there. So I was enjoying myself because I got to freaking play as Iron Man and Captain America and the Hulk and Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. She's actually really good. She's one of my favorite ones there too.
She's actually my strongest out of everybody.
Yeah. She's got these cool and like interesting movesets, these new stuff, and like the way she traverses around the map and stuff, like the whole stretchy thing, like Mr. Fantastic type of way. That was really cool. So I'm loving the game. I'm just a little conflicted on how I feel about its originality. Also, you mentioned that the combat was smooth. What did you mean by like it was fluid?
With more with like what's her name? With Black Widow. Mm-hmm. Hers is a little more like fluid in the sense of it comes off as a fighting game when you're using Black Widow. Mm-hmm. So it, to me, it feels a little more. It feels smooth because you if you feel that contact when you're like kicking somebody's ass, and it has that like. Sometimes it can be janky, but it has that comic book like badassery feel when you're doing all these cool ass moves. So do you kind of feel that with the other characters? Because it's a hit or miss with me when it comes to the game mechanics. With the other characters, the whole fluidity. Thor is a little clunky. Mm-hmm. I like the Hulk. I barely use him because like I usually stray away from the tanks. Big hulking characters. Yeah. So when I did play him in the beginning, he was kind of like, I kind of want to go back to Kamala. Mm-hmm. I do like my stretching and spinning all over the place. Yeah. Like at this point, I'm like freaking carrying the team most of the time I'm playing. But her between her and Black Widow, they move a little more smoother than most. Okay. I guess also because they're more hand to hand. Yeah. I know people like Iron Man and Thor, they're more power based or of course flight based, and they shoot lasers and stuff. So it's a bit different with the fighting mechanic. Yeah. And their auto aim can really fuck you up when you're flying. Yeah, that was one of the things that I had an issue with, which is why I asked, because the game is still fun. Like I said, the fighting mechanic is still fun as well, but it can get a little bit janky when it comes to like auto aiming or lock on aiming, I should say. The flying, the flying, and also as well, maybe it's just me being new about it because I've only been playing it for about 4 days, and I haven't finished the campaign yet. With the fighting, the whole parrying system and like the dodging system, it could be a little iffy sometimes. It doesn't feel responsive all the time. Is that just me, you think? No, that's happened to me plenty of times where I've gotten my ass handed to me where I'll dodge. To me, I thought I dodged, but then I get smacked by something else, and I'm like, okay, so you're only focusing on the person that like I'm in front of that you want to dodge. Like it feels like it, like if whoever's on the screen, that's who like it'll work with. But like if whoever they're facing, maybe more so than like what's behind, like they won't really focus on what's behind them. True. That's why when I play, it was kind of hard at first, but like to adjust to. But I turned the lock on. Like I don't lock on at all anymore. Okay. So I'm just like, listen, I'm just gonna play this like how I play Kingdom Hearts or whatever, or how I play Dark Souls. I'm just gonna run I'm gonna swing, turn my camera while I'm swinging. That's kind of what I'm doing too. Cause I guess I was expecting it to play a little bit more fluid when it comes to like the parrying and dodging, somewhat like the Arkham games. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there could be two people behind you and you could reverse both of them at the same time. And then you block the front one and then you block the right one and you dodge the left one and you jump over the other one because he has a shield and you kick his ass and stuff. So like this one is like a step down when it comes to like the Arkham combat. Yeah. That's what I was expecting anyways. With Kamala, I think her parry and everything is the only one that works. Like the R2, like the hero power. Yeah, yes. When you hold her hero ability, she can dodge most attacks, everything except for unblockables, of course. So she'll when you're like in that mode, she automatically dodges everything. So that one's really good, but you have to level that up to make sure it works properly. But other characters, I feel you on that with the dodging and the parrying, especially with Black Widow.
I guess you would just make your own adjustments, and it's a learning curve, I guess you could say. Like, not to say that like you shouldn't be forced to manipulate or get used to the way like a broken combat is. Not that I'm saying it's broken, but just as an example.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get used to how a broken combat works and make adjustments and stuff. You should fix the combat a little bit there. So I guess like you got used to it is what you're saying. So you have your own method on how you can get by.
Yeah, because I tried dodging all the time, and like since it is, they try and give it a little realism when you're dodging, so you can't just spam dodge. Mm-hmm. So like I'll dodge one attack and like I'll press it again, and obviously I'm not going to dodge that next missile coming at me. Like mm-hmm. I literally just dodge right into that missile. Yeah. I'm like, all right, I gotta figure out a way around this. I'll dodge one, and then I'll use my hero ability to insta dodge the other one.
Yeah, I had a bit of I had really big trouble with Iron Man during the campaign because I almost died maybe like twice. Is it me, or is like does he barely have any health? For someone who has fucking metal all over his body, yeah. Like I kept on almost dying, and I had to summon the freaking Hulk Buster just so I can get my health back, and then kill him to get my health back and everything. So that worked out, but I don't know. Yeah, just it takes some getting used to with all of it, and you have your own way to try to survive, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of is one of the more weaker ones when it comes to defense. I guess they're trying to keep it canon. There's like his heart. He doesn't have a real heart.
Yeah. So with all of that being said, do you see yourself playing the game for a long time? Because this is one of those games, they made this game for you to like grind a lot with all the new gear and leveling up as much as possible. And because they say that this is not going to be a games of service, so we're not going to be expecting a shit ton of updates and DLCs and things like that. Maybe something every now and then. But is this something that you can keep on playing for a long time?
I think it is. If they keep releasing characters, because I had watched the video earlier. I forgot by who, but I had watched the video earlier. They were saying that any DLC or character adds, like everything's going to be free. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I see you got me on that. I'm listening. Because they already showed off that Kate Bishop is coming, and then after Kate Bishop, it was during the war table. So it was like after Kate Bishop, it's supposed to be Hawkeye, and then like according to rumors, apparently they were gonna tease Black Panther, but they didn't. I don't know why. What happened?
Well, where'd you hear this? Like it was a rumor, or
yeah, that was the video. It was somewhat speculation, and there's been a couple people actually saying it too. Like according to whatever rumor they've been hearing and that's been going around, they were going to show Black Panther before the whole Chadwick Boseman death.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah, because I know at the beginning of the war table they did say they were going to change. They were changing how things were going to be shown. So I'm guessing they backtracked on something. I don't know why, but I'm guessing they did.
Maybe they're being a little bit cautious with releasing Black Panther. I don't know.
Yeah, and in the same video, he was talking about like there were data mines about other characters. So that being said, I'm definitely down for it. I want to see what other characters they bring out.
And of course, to rub it on everybody's faces, PS4, we get Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But oh man, so
watch them
again, what was that?
Watch them give us Spider Ham.
Spider Ham. Oh, I would still take that. Yeah, I would still take that. I'm iffy about it myself. So the character stuff is cool. It's cool that they will release new characters. I haven't heard anything. Maybe if you heard anything, are they releasing anything else aside from characters though? Because I don't think the game, like, after you're doing the same missions for the next couple of months, the same shit over and over and over, just grinding for gear for what type of end game content? Yeah, because I don't know if there is any really, except for just more harder missions. like, I have you heard them releasing anything else?
With Kate Bishop, there's supposed to be there's going to be a story that takes place right after.
Story.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's going to be a story DLC that takes place right after, and then with the release of Hawkeye's DLC, it's going to be continuing from where Kate Bishop's story.
Okay, so they are going to release story content based off whatever characters they're releasing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. That's something to look forward to. Because if it was just like, you're going to give me Spider-Man, but if I'm just going to be playing the same shit again with Spider-Man, that's not going to be as fun as you'd think.
Yeah.
At least in my eyes, anyway. So that's a good thing to hear.
And I'm pretty sure. Well, fingers crossed. I'm pretty sure that they're going to do some other stuff besides like just aim focused content. Hopefully, but. Yeah, I feel like they'll add more story. They have to, because Marvel has way too many storylines for them just to focus on one.
Yeah, I agree. They could do a lot of mini stories and just add, like, they can build on top of each story over and over and over. It doesn't have to be like, about AIM or MODOK or anything like that,
Yeah.
And you could flesh out more characters and such. It'd be interesting. I mean, not when it came to just characters being released, I didn't see myself playing this for a long time, but since you mentioned, if they are releasing story content, I would love to grind it out for a bit, leave it alone for a month, wait for the DLC, and then kind of jump in again. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about any type, well, at least I did anyways. I think I complained more than you did about what's wrong with the game and kind of fixes they can work on. Is there anything that you think they should work on and fix?
The frame rate.
Does it bog you down sometimes?
That shit hurts. But it's not all the time. It's only when I do like really hard missions where they have increased enemy numbers.
Okay, because, so just a lot of ads on screen.
Yeah, because there are multipliers. Modifiers for some of the missions, and there are some that add more enemies. And I'm like, all right, this is cool and all. I get to just kill more things. But when there's a bunch of shit getting thrown across the screen, and I am biggin with Kamala Khan, and then you have the Hulkbuster coming down at the same time, and then Black Widow does her Shadow Ops. It's a lot that happens all at once, and I've seen it happen. My game did crash one time. I was doing a mission with Black Widow, and I got caught in a gravity grenade as soon as I activated Stealth Ops. And I was like, "Fuck! What the hell just happened?" Because it was a lot of shit going on.
Well, like, you guys all released your supers at once. You just destroyed the planet.
I think we did destroy the planet. Frame rate issues. The matchmaking needs to be fixed.
Really?
Yeah, because it. I don't know if it's because a lot of people don't play on the same difficulty all the time, but everybody has.
So you're waiting a long time.
Yeah, this time, like, I think the most I waited was probably like 15, 20 minutes. So I was like,
oh, no bueno.
Yeah. And I was like, is it because I'm doing a harder mission? Are people just grinding out the easy stuff, hoping to get better gear? I don't know. Because I went straight to hard mode. And
yeah, I wanted to also. I was locked out of it. I guess you got to finish the campaign, I'm assuming?
It's like what? Normal, easy, hard, then very hard? Or is it just...
It's easy, normal, hard, and very hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just did straight hard mode.
I wasn't able to. I was locked out. I guess I still just gotta keep playing the game.
Yeah, but that has to be fixed a little bit. Like, I don't know if they're trying to pair me up with other people who beat the game, because it does tell you, it'll prompt you like if someone didn't do the same mission, like didn't do a mission that's like kind of story related, a prompt will come on the screen and be like, oh, spoiler alert. Someone hasn't done this mission, this, that, and the third, but you won't know if it was you or not. Like, so it's like, are we doing a mission that I didn't do?
Yeah, that's a big deal. Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully that gets patched, because I kind of don't like just waiting. But I don't mind. The rest of my AI is a bunch of freaking godlike monsters as well. But it would be nice to play with a bunch of randoms. Like, I did make 2 random friends on the game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they felt my pain looking for people.
That was one of those things I had an issue with. Like, matchmaking can be such a bitch to balance when it comes to online games.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's online. I used to I used to pray to the Bungie gods to add matchmaking to like raids.
Oh, I remember those days.
Because pretty much they only have, at the time anyways, they only had matchmaking for PvP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they have somewhat of a matchmaking system where you click on this node and you wait in line, and there are Sherpas that are willing to help you. So they have to be in the queue also. And then you jump on their game basically and they Sherpa you. But it's a long wait. It's a super long wait because almost nobody wants to Sherpa, especially, you know, when you're just trying to grind something and get something done real quick.
Yeah.
Because raids, they usually last about an hour and a half. And that's, you know, maybe I would say maybe 30 minutes to an hour if your group is really good. So a lot of people don't want to Sherpa. And then I remember when I played The Division, I was excited that they actually had matchmaking for raids. And the matchmaking was actually very fast because everyone was looking to raid. So I would jump in these raids and I would get kicked almost every single time just because I didn't have a certain loadout or some shit like that.
It was the Galahorn shit all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you didn't have Galahorn in D1, you were not allowed to raid with anyone because that was like the end all rocket launcher to get.
To kill Crota.
Yeah, it was Crota, it was Atheon. Yep. It was just everything. But yeah, matchmaking is really tough. So hopefully they can fix something like that.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Is there anything in the game you would like it to have? Like not fixes per se. I'm talking about like some personal DLC you might want in there aside from like a character or even a character if you want a particular character in there.
Nova is actually one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I would not mind at all a Nova Corps story. Like, just take it all the way off of Earth, or even the Skrulls. Yeah. Like, give us a Super Skrull to play as or something. Give us a Super Skrull
powers.
Exactly. Like, and it's just not powers bound. That's already in the game. Give us a Super Skrull that has like some random otherworldly power. Give him.
There was one Skrull that was everyone's favorite that had all 4 of the Fantastic Four's powers.
Kirk.
Was that his name?
I think it was Kirk or Kurt. One of them. I know he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Yeah.
They
called him the Super Skrull.
Yes, that was him. It was him. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, that's good. So there's one of my favorite characters in Marvel is actually someone that not many people know about. And in my eyes, I see him as the Superman of like their comic world. Can you guess who that was? Just think Superman and like see who like pictures in your head.
Is it Sentry? No, Sentry is
the Sentry. Yeah,
Sentry. I was like, yo, there's another one. I was like, there's definitely one.
There was one that truly they say that he's the Superman of the series. I don't remember who it was. I mean, some people could even argue that Nova would be too because he's super strong.
Yeah.
Since you know the whole Nova Corps essence is in him, kind of like the Green Lantern in a way. Like the Green Lantern energy is like all in the Green Lantern, or dispersed from all the Green Lantern Corps and stuff. So like the Nova Corps is like the Marvel version, but like the Sentry, he was like, they say that he has the powers of a 10,000 suns and like, you know, he beat up the Hulk single-handedly in one comic.
Yeah, he's like God level.
Yeah, so I would love a storyline with him and even with the Hulk, like in the story, because they were friends / enemies in a way. And he's a complex character because he has like kind of like agoraphobic problem. Like he's afraid of going outside, and it's mostly because he's kind of afraid of his powers and what he might do to people.
Yeah. And
then at the same time, he's also his own arch nemesis because he has a split personality called the Void. So he's like he's can be just as evil, just
as brutal. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so that I would like to see his character fleshed out a bit. But Nova, I could see them doing them more so because I'm sure they'd want to push that character because they're going to have him in the MCU at some point.
Yeah, like with the Guardians of the Galaxy and all that.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to see Adam Strange in there too. I mean, Adam Warlock.
I speaking of that, I think they were supposed to be adding another rumor or whatever's going on with this stuff now. Doctor Strange.
With the new movie?
No, with the game.
Oh, in the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But we'll
see that happening. It'd be interesting magic use.
I am Vagamoto.
Oh man, imagine he could do some time manipulation in the game.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Just like stop all the enemies. Just do some extra stuff.
Yeah, and then he does like the 10,000 hand portal thing and just smacks everybody.
Did you speaking of that, did you know that there were like team attacks in the game?
No. They're like as in like combos?
Yeah.
No.
So if you're fighting like a bigger like enemy, like one of the yellow crab mechs, if you're fighting one of them, there'll be like an area to prompt like when they lose all their poise, and you do the finisher. The takedown
like when you press the triangle and O?
Yeah.
Circle, yeah.
So if you do that and someone else does that at the same time, it does kind of like a team attack type of thing. Because there's times where like, what did I do? I was using Kamala. I did it. Thor flipped the mech, and like I had stomped on the belly of the mech, and then like I came down with the elbow. Like so I'm like, oh, you guys don't even advertise this stuff. Like, why?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they could mention little tool tips, little tips that they give you for the gameplay.
Yeah,
at least. I
guess they wanted people to find it out on their own, but I'm like, no. Yeah. Sometimes you want to throw that out there. Just you don't have to show all of them. Just show one. Because it was pretty cool when I did the first time. I was like, wait, is my game bugged? Like, why are we both doing a finisher? But then I was like, oh, okay, so you can do it.
You sure that wasn't what it was? Just a bug?
Imagine.
Yeah. And everybody gets one.
I did it a couple of times though, just to test it out. I went to the harm room. I was like, this can't be real.
One of the things that really bugged me actually is the whole like you can equip all these things, all the loot that you equipped on them, but you don't actually see it. So it's like the gear that you put, you don't see, but you can still change them cosmetically, but the cosmetic stuff doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's just costume change.
I think it's more of a thing of me with Destiny. It's just, the loot that I put on, I would like to actually see in some way.
The freedom of it.
Yeah, it's just nice to like see the stuff that I put on them. But if anything, they could have just done like a toggle thing. Like you could turn it on or off of how you want to see your character. But I don't know, that's just me.
That would be pretty cool.
So that is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for joining us. Jay, where can they find you for your streams?
You guys can come over to twitch.tv/jbiggs08.
And Randy. Oh yeah, Randy's not here. Damn it, Randy. We miss you. So for me, you guys check out all the Drunken Guardian content. Remember, we have Twitch as well. I also stream on YouTube, and we have Instagram. We've got everything you could possibly want for content, so check us out. All the information, including Jay Biggs' links as well, will be in the show description. Thank you guys for listening.
Later, y'all.
What's up, everyone? Don't forget to subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels, as well as the podcast itself if you're enjoying all the content that we're giving you. We also have Instagram and Twitter accounts, so we post something at least every other day, including cocktails and gaming news. I would love to hear some feedback from all you guys to let us know how we can improve the podcast even more for you and bring some more content for everyone. Thank you all for listening, and hopefully I will have you give us another listen for next week. Thank you. See you guys soon.